English shorthand 80 words per minute. Passage number 46. Get ready. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Start. These two writ petitions concern the right to shelter of homeless persons in urban areas. These writ petitions were filed in the year 2003, but no effective orders could be passed till 2014 as all the states did not file their responses and status reports. On 4/9/2014, Mr. Prashant Bhushan, counsel for the petitioners in writ petition number 572 of 2003, placed the scheme of shelters for urban homeless issued by the Government of India, Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation before this court. The said scheme refers to the National Urban Livelihoods Mission. The mission was launched on 24/9/2013 to reduce the poverty and vulnerability of urban poor households by enabling them to access gainful self-employment and skilled wage employment opportunities through building strong grassroots level institutions for the poor, which would result in an appreciable improvement in their livelihoods on a sustainable basis. The mission document also states that providing shelters equipped with essential services to the urban homeless in a phased manner is a top priority. The location and design of shelters and the funding pattern of the scheme of shelters for urban homeless is discussed in detail in the mission document. The operational guidelines for the scheme of shelters for urban homeless were issued in December 2013 by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation. These guidelines provide the details of the norms and types of shelters and the facilities to be provided at the shelters. As per the scheme, Government of India would fund 75% of the cost of construction of the shelters and the remaining 25% would be contributed by the states and union territories. In case of special category states, the central government would fund 90% and the states would bear the remaining 10%. The urban local bodies were given the responsibility of monitoring and evaluation of the scheme. The states and union territories were directed to file affidavits regarding the status of implementation of the scheme by an order of this court dated 4/9/2014. If the states did not fully implement the scheme, they were directed to state the time frame during which they would do so, while directing the Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation to explore the ways and means of providing temporary shelters to the needy persons, this court, by an order dated 13/11/2014, also directed the Government of India to inquire from the Chief Secretaries or the administrators of each state and union territories about the status of implementation of the scheme. On 12/12/2014, a direction was issued by this court for a meeting of the Executive Committee to be held on or before 31/12/2014 to prepare a report of the activities of the mission. The Chief Secretaries of the states were directed to constitute the executive committees in terms of the mission document on or before the said date. A further direction was issued to review the existing temporary and permanent shelters to ensure that all facilities are available in those shelters in those states and union territories where the number of shelters was inadequate. Steps were directed to be taken to provide at least temporary shelters forthwith. With these matters were listed on 13/2/2015, this court was informed that executive committees were constituted in 27 states and union territories for the purpose of permanent shelters in 790 towns and cities. The learned Additional Solicitor General representing the Union of India submitted that monitoring of the permanent housing structures would be done on a regular basis by calling for monthly progress reports from the states or union territories in terms of the scheme. The Union of India was directed to submit a status report before the next date fixed for hearing, that is 24/4/2015. On 24/4/2015, an affidavit was handed over in court on behalf of the Union of India. This court examined the said affidavit and the final status report relied upon in the affidavit filed earlier on 20/2/2015. It was stated by the Union of India that an amount of around rupees 1,000 crores was made available to the states and UTs as on 31/1/2015 under this mission. This court referred to the non-utilization of funds by the states of Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Assam and Kerala. This court observed that there was no monitoring or evaluation of the progress of work and utilization of the huge amount of money that was released to the state governments. The ministry was directed to file an affidavit giving an account of the expenditure incurred and also the audit that was conducted for the funds that were released. These writ petitions were listed on 7/8/2015 when it was made clear that their scope was only with reference to shelters for urban homeless. The Union of India sought time to file details of the implementation of the scheme along with the relevant documents. Thereafter, the matter was again listed on 30/10/2015. It was submitted by the Union of India that there are 7 components in the mission and the amount of rupees 1000 crores released to the states and UTs as on 31/1/2015 was not exclusively for providing shelters. Stop.